What are some artery-friendly and diabetes-friendly recipes? We get asked that question at the Global PAD Association all the time, and we're going to demo an actual recipe right here, right now. And it was a recipe that was initiated by our good friend and the Global PAD Association's Chief Medical Advisor, Dr. Michael Dansinger, who is with diabetesreversalpartners.com. Dr. Danziger is here. We also have Chef Eric. Chef Eric and I did this recipe last youtube.com/the @ the way to my heart. You'll see our shrimp and snow pea recipe with both Chef Eric and myself doing it for our Patty's plate last week. This week we have Alan, who is the first one of all of us to try it, and he was inspired by you, Dr. D. So tell us,
Yes.
just to kick us off, what is this recipe that we're all talking about now and we love?
Are you asking me, Kym?
I am.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, I saw some snow peas in the supermarket in a bag and thought, I haven't tried making snow peas in a really long time, and I'm not sure if I like them, but I'm gonna try that. And I brought them home, and one night I was super hungry and wanted to eat really quickly, so I got a skillet and threw those snow peas in, and I had some frozen shrimp, and I threw that in and added some soy sauce, and within 10 minutes, I had 2 or 3 servings worth of a healthy, delicious meal, and I couldn't believe how much I liked it. So later, I mentioned it to you, and now look, the ripple effect.
Yeah,
And
no, seriously, this recipe, this thing is going, it's just snow peas and shrimp. We're gonna literally take that SNS viral because Eric, Chef Eric, you even loved it. We had a great time last week
Great time.
doing our own versions of it.
Yes. Yes, very fun, very healthy. It was delicious.
Yeah, what did you do, Chef Eric? You had some great ideas to spice it up a little bit. What are some of those ingredients that maybe Dr. D might want to take on next time?
But we added mushrooms to ours. I did chestnuts in mine, and I cut up red peppers. So just to add more vegetables, just to make it a little heavier, a little thicker.
And you marinated the shrimp for a little bit before in
Yes.
some goodness.
Yeah, we did garlic and ginger, little aminos, and black pepper. I think that's about it. Yeah, garlic, ginger. Yes,
sounds delicious and
Yeah.
healthy.
yes.
That's right.
And wait a minute, what was that last key ingredient? After we were all finished, you said one more thing.
Oh, yeah, we added lemon zest at the end. It made it pop a little bit, made the shrimp come alive. Definitely.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
now, Dr. D,
Right.
we have Alan. He was the first one to try it, and he has his own spin on it as well. Alan, what do you got going on?
I cooked my shrimp in olive, no, sorry. Yeah, I cooked the shrimp in olive oil. I don't
Mhm.
add anything to it. And then I put the shrimp in a bowl, and then I cooked my snow peas in olive oil. And I add paprika, oregano, and za'atar. And this
Had you ever
time,
heard of Zatar before, Dr. D? I'd never heard it. Eric, I don't think Eric had heard of Zatar before either. Did you?
I actually bought some yesterday.
Did you?
Yes. I found it just to try. It's just a small batch. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's oregano-
oh,
oregano in it. Yeah.
za'atar's delicious. I've heard of it before, a Middle Eastern spice combo.
yeah, yeah, and I've used it on meat, on
Mm.
seafood, in soups. I even threw it into a pasta dish. You can use it on just about anything. It's a great spice.
Oh, and Douglas says he ordered some as well. He put in the chat. Yeah. So we'll have to see how it is. The only thing I worry about is the sunflower oil in it. I'm not sure why they need it in it. It's a spice. Like, why do you need to add sunflower oil? I just don't
Well, I
understand.
saw on Amazon there was a brand, I think it was from Lebanon, and it had olive oil in it, not sunflower oil.
Oh, that might be better.
Yeah,
And so Douglas also says he got his without sunflower oil. Nice job, Douglas.
yeah.
So, do you want to show us what you got going on there? Because you're going to cook it for us right now. And what I love about this is no matter what ingredients you're using, you can change it up every time. Dr. D, you really gave us a good foundation, a good baseline to say, hey, add whatever spices. You just need these two ingredients and then spice it up, whatever floats your boat, whatever your taste buds desire.
Yeah, I think I might add some sumac to this one too. 'Cause I've got some sumac here.
Awesome. So just walk us through what you're doing right now. Oh, he's tasting something. Something tastes good.
That's the sumac. I love sumac. Okay, so I've got my pan heated up. And I'm gonna put some olive oil in it, and I've got an olive oil that's infused with lemon. So I think that's perfect for a seafood dish. Stir that around.
Hey,
and
so I
add the
started
shrimp.
using the metal pans as well. Chef Eric got me using the metal pans and not burning things. So I have my, what do you call it? The Bar Hero or whatever it's called, because I always burn the bottom of those pans.
Well,
But he's gotten me cooking on low heat.
I tested my heat. I used water, and when I first put a few drops of water in, it immediately steamed up. So I knew the pan was too hot. So I turned it down and then I added water and it just formed little bubbles, and that's the right temperature.
Chef Eric is nodding. He's doing the right things. He could be a
Correct.
nice sous chef
Yes.
with you, Chef Eric.
That is correct.
Okay,
That's-
what did you put in there?
So I just put the shrimp in.
Okay. And you put the shrimp in, you don't marinate it, you didn't marinate it or anything ahead of time?
No, no, I didn't. I'm not as professional as Chef Eric, because what he did sounded really good.
Well, Dr. D didn't do it either. He was like, I just got some frozen shrimp and just threw them in the pan, just as you're doing.
Yeah, and it doesn't take very long to cook shrimp.
And Dr. D, as he's doing that, what are some of the health benefits of this type of a meal for someone with peripheral artery disease, cardiovascular disease, diabetes?
Yeah, absolutely, Kim. So the healthiest meals combine protein and vegetables, and there's so many different ways to combine protein and vegetables. So these snow peas are phenomenal. They have antioxidants, and what makes them green is chlorophyll, which is one of the healthiest things that you can actually eat, and it has magnesium in it, and it has all sorts of health properties. And all the they many people would say the green vegetables are the healthiest, and it's probably true. Spinach, for example, and what makes spinach green is also what makes the pea pods and snow peas and edamame green, and that just helps the arteries relax, and it favors nitric oxide, and which again helps the blood vessels relax. It's the opposite of all of the garbage that we find in ultra processed food, which causes the blood vessels to clamp down and tense up. And what's going on? The effect of all these different hundreds of chemicals in the processed food. And so, we're designed to eat vegetables for much of our meals. And then the protein in shrimp is good, and it's low in fat, and it's high in protein, and your body needs protein, and it is satiating. So shrimp and pea pods are terrific. And then there's a million ways to jazz it up. And so, we've heard from Chef Eric one way to make it spectacular. And my mouth is watering just thinking about what Alan's got cooking there.
And Douglas, you can go ahead and unmute. We'd love to have you, chiming in as well. Douglas has a question, Alan.
Yes,
How long did you do your shrimp for?
about 2 minutes. I just took them off. Like I find 2 minutes and shrimp is ready. Doesn't take long.
Did you buy the peeled shrimp already? Was it the peeled shrimp?
No, so I had to peel them.
Yeah, I find because I'm now learning because of Dr. D, he's just completely corrupted me. So I like the less hands that touch my food, the better now. So I started sucking it up and getting the whole shrimp with the shell on, and then I put it in a little plastic bag and I get it frozen, and then I put it in some tepid water, just regular room temperature water, and let it just thaw out. And then I take the shell off and I devein them myself, which I didn't like doing before. But I now do it all myself. And then I just find they feel so much fresher and I feel better about it because they're my hands
What-
versus someone else's.
What are you putting in there, Alan?
So I
What
put
did you just put in there?
I added some more olive oil, and then threw the snow peas in, and then I added my spices, my oregano, paprika, za'atar, and some sumac. I need some more oil.
So what are the paprika? So I'm curious on the paprika and the sumac, Chef Eric. What are those flavorings? How do you know that you need them maybe in food or what you desire is something like that? I've never used those before.
Well, I mean, it's all in what you enjoy, but certain herbs go with certain meats. And I enjoy like the dill and the citrus, things like that with my fish and seafood, like celery seed, different things like that. So it's more like you just have to practice on yourself sometimes. I don't.
Versus
Go ahead.
Alan that likes the more Mediterranean, a little bit of
Yeah.
sounds like a little bit more of the spice in there as well.
Yeah,
And there's nothing wrong with that. It all depends what dish you're making.
Yeah.
If it's a stir fry like this, I kind of, go towards the Asian,
So, Chef Eric, is there
Yes.
like when you use your mushrooms, there a specific mushroom or like your spinach? Dr. Dansinger talking about spinach. Is there a certain type of spinach that's better for us than others?
You mean like baby spinach or the full leaf spinach or even other greens like chard? I added chard, Douglas, into my other one because I was told I needed more calcium in my diet. So I chopped up chard and I heard chard was even healthier than spinach. I don't know. So I added that versus the spinach. So yeah,
What
Dr.
about
D.
like bell peppers?
Oh, that's what Eric actually added in his.
Yeah, I enjoy that in mine. I kind of stay away from spinach and things because of the
Vitamin
osculates,
K.
but
Oh, with
I
the
think
kidneys.
yes. But the char and different things like that, I think in moderation, none of it's too bad for you.
What
Yeah.
kind of mushrooms did you use, Eric?
I use the what are they, brown beach mushrooms, the little ones with the little tops. I think Kym used shiitake, I think. What
Yeah, I
kind
used
yeah.
I like the texture of the shiitake.
Yeah,
I even use shiitake mushrooms and I make a vegan clam chowder and no one can tell they're not clams.
yeah,
So
they do
I
have a
really
special
like
taste.
shiitake.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can use whatever you like. I just, if
Mhm.
they're too big, just slice them up and go,
I mean,
from-
like the bella mushrooms or that like that.
yeah, I use the baby bellas, but I don't care for the darkness that the big bellas kind of leave in the food. So the baby bellas they're just as good to me.
Mm.
Yeah.
I
From
usually
an
go with whatever's cheaper.
Right.
Is
From
that
a nu-
okay, Dr. D?
Yes, from a nutrition standpoint, I would advocate a mix is good. I'm not going to say, one mushroom's the best. I'm not going to say spinach is better than chard or vice versa.
Mm.
I think, we're fortunate to live in a place where supermarkets have, in regular markets, if you can get to a farmer's market, et cetera, dozens of different fruit and vegetable choices. And so a mix, eat the rainbow is actually the best. And it's most important to eat what you like. When you find vegetables that you like, go for it.
Yeah, okay.
I gotta jump
And
in here.
yeah,
My
Alan,
snow-
what do you got going on?
My snow peas are ready. So
Okay.
I threw the shrimp back in and squeezed some lemon on it. And
Oh.
I'm just doing this to sort of warm up the shrimp just for a little while.
I
And
also noticed, Alan, you didn't use any measuring cups, and Kim doesn't do that necessarily either. So it's just a guessing,
Yeah.
how much.
yeah,
I guess like Eric Chef, you just learn that over cooking, don't you?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Kind of have that feel.
okay, I'm done.
Oh my gosh, you got to show us what it looks like. Can you show us the pan? And look how quick it was. What was that, 10 minutes?
Oh, yeah, yeah, it's easy. It's so easy. I'm gonna have to pick up my computer. Let me see here.
Okay, tilt it down. Oh my gosh. That's what yours looked like, Dr. D, didn't it?
That looks terrific.
That's dinner.
Wow.
And
Can
I
I
got
show
it.
you a picture of what mine looked like?
Yes, yes.
You'll see how similar.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And
And
you
I
know
got
what
it.
I noticed about this, you guys, and Alan, I mean, it's satisfying. I
Oh.
didn't miss the carbs and I was full. And I mean, I had the sweet, I had the savory, I had chewy, I had crunchy, and it was
Yeah.
so perfect.
Yeah, it is. And I gotta tell you, it just tastes so good. This has become one of my favorite dishes.
Dr. D.
What do you
I
think?
could eat this every week.
How many servings would you guess you've got there? And then I'm going to ask you, what do you think the cost of the ingredients is?
That's 2 full servings. And it cost me, the shrimp and the snow peas cost me, I'll say $15 US. So $7.50 a dish.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Much
bad,
cheaper than going out.
definitely.
Maybe you guys get your shrimp cheaper than I pay. I don't know.
I just get frozen shrimp and I always allot it to because my hand's a lot smaller and I use his, hand. So I'll usually get 3 or 4 shrimp, depending on the size of them, into my palm of my hands. My dad will usually get 4 or 5 shrimp. Um, and so I'll get a big bag of the frozen shrimp when they're on sale. And I always make sure it's the wild shrimp. I don't know if it makes a difference, Dr. D or Chef Eric.
This was wild Argentinian shrimp, and there was at least 15 shrimp here.
Okay. And I always make sure it is cheaper, it's less expensive with the shell on. So if you don't mind deveining and
Yeah.
stuff, it is less expensive.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Can I
Yes.
add? So I just did some research too, Alan, I just ordered everything you just did.
Oh,
I
right
ordered
on.
it off. I ordered it off of HEB, and I got snow peas. I got a blend of vegetables with onions, bell peppers, and chopped celery, and some baby mushrooms, and I ordered some shrimp. It came out to $24. But being single, like you said, I wonder how many meals this will make for me where I can just reheat it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so what you can do, Douglas, and this is what I love, Joshua says one meal. But what I love is that, yeah, once you start with it, yeah, as Joshua says in our chat, yeah, like you just, it's addicting. I mean, you're addicted then to healthy food with healthy spices. And I didn't even add any salt, you know, to the one I just did, but before I used a little Celtic salt. Um, which I'm going to get to in a minute. Dr. D,
Yeah.
what'd you use, Potsy?
I didn't use any salt in this, and it sure doesn't need it. It is so flavorful.
Dr. D,
there's
with
no-
the right spices, and especially, you know, like Chef Eric can't have salt with kidneys and such. And I have a lot of people with high blood pressure. I find that you don't really need it if you even mix onion powder and garlic powder. Do you think
Yeah.
salt is just a habit?
Yeah, you make a good point, Kym. And so the more flavor you have, the less salt, the less important the salt is. Now,
Yeah.
salt brings out the flavor of everything, but you don't need very much salt. And the shrimp already has some salt in it. That's just nature. And so, yeah, this dish is going to taste delicious, even if you don't use the salt shaker or any kind of condiments or sauces that have
Yeah.
that have salt. And so, you know, you want to personalize it, but when you add spices and seasonings, it adds all sorts of interest and variety. So, yeah, you don't need the salt.
Mm-mm.
I
And
have
I'm
another.
curious. Sure, Douglas, go ahead.
Can you do this? I wonder, can you do this with like tilapia or salmon? Make
You
it
can
the same
stir
way
fry.
with,
What do you think, you
yeah.
guys?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think
definitely.
you could. Yeah.
Yeah, I would go with the salmon. It probably would hold together better, you know, if you saute it. But you can use any of the proteins. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no rule that says you know, if you could, in a skillet, right, you could use any individual vegetable and just about any protein, and some seem to pair better than others, but from a nutritional standpoint you win. And right, there's no rule that says you couldn't use chicken instead of shrimp or salmon or any kind of fish, or you can use scallops, right? And then you can swap any kind of vegetable or combination of vegetables here. And so this is a general approach. You put a little olive oil in and you cook your protein and set it aside, and you cook your vegetable, and then you combine them and add your herbs and spices, and there you go. It takes, 10 minutes or so, and there's a million variations on that idea, but with practice, with practice, you can master this basic technique. I'd love to hear from you guys whether you agree. But with practice, you can master this technique of, you do your protein and then you do your vegetable, and then there's a million variations and combinations.
Chef Eric, I did that last week. I cooked one chicken breast and I put it aside, and then I had a big batch of mixed vegetables. Cooked it in the pan, added some spices. I cut up the chicken breast, threw it back in, and I got 3 meals out of that one
Wow.
dish. And it's so easy to do. It's quick to do and really flavorful. So I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
great
You
way to
talk
cook.
about, Dr.
I
D,
like-
you talk
I-
about the colors of the rainbow when you're cooking like that. So
Yeah.
is it more green better for you, or is it really is a combination of, like, what about carrots? Is it a combination of that?
So embrace vegetables. So I'm not when you embrace the whole rainbow of vegetable, I'm not saying every skillet needs to have 5 colors. What I'm saying is over the course of a week or over the course of a month, it would be, enjoy the whole range. And so I'm not saying that you have to do it that way. I mean, if broccoli is your thing, then you can just focus on one or two vegetables that you love. I mean, that's okay too, but let me show you an example of how this meal might look with, different bell peppers. I mean, so that's shrimp and bell peppers and onions maybe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you could, I mean, it's beautiful, right? I mean, it's prettier than if you picked just one color.
Yeah.
So
Well, the dish that I cooked last week, I had a couple of different colored sweet peppers.
Okay.
I had carrots, zucchini, celery. So I had a range of colors and flavors, and it was awesome.
absolutely. The trade-off, of course, is the more different ingredients you have, the more complexity there is. And so sometimes you just, my version of this was the most basic you can do, right? I mean, I even cooked the shrimp and the pea pods together. I mean, that's
Yeah.
how amateurish and simplistic I did it, and it still tasted fine. And then you can make it much better as you add more and more complexity in a mix.
Yeah.
So
Well, I like that. Like, I like the idea of adding mushrooms or was it water? What was it?
oh, water chestnuts.
Water chestnuts. I love water chestnuts, and that would be a great addition to this dish.
And I think we added, Chef Eric, did I add some pine nuts afterwards as well? I think I added some pine nuts.
No, you did
I did.
You didn't have the pine nuts. You did the hemp seeds.
Oh, I did hemp seeds on top just for a
Yeah.
little extra protein.
Right. Yeah.
Tell us the olive oil you used, Alan. Can you?
It's called Copini Arte Oleria.
Yep, and we always suggest make sure, as Alan's always been on, so early harvest or first harvest, hand-picked, cold pressed extra virgin olive oil. Which Dr. D, oh, go ahead, Alan.
This isn't that, but the reason I got it was because it was infused with lemon, and I just really love that idea.
Dr. D, there is legislation in Congress right now for putting better labels on olive oil, which I am going to have the congressman has agreed to come on the Heart of Innovation. So I think we can maybe try and schedule it when you're going to be on, because I think that you would appreciate it and probably agree with making sure that the olive oil that people are buying actually matches what's on the label and it's not rancid.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting. Yes. I mean, we all want to know the truth, and no deceptive labeling, please.
No deceptive labeling. But sometimes people just don't know. Sometimes the companies don't know. I mean, they may be making the olive oil, they're not testing it for the polyphenol count. So they're just putting it out there. Olive oil is supposed to be healthy, but a lot of people don't realize that it's from the soil up that really counts. So you really have to do your research and make sure you are getting the best olive oil and not something that is rancid or some industrial solvent.
I get all of my olive oil at an Italian store here in town. And the owner is about 70 years old, and he's incredibly knowledgeable about olive oil.
Love
I can go in there and talk to him, and he'll help me choose the right kind of olive oil. I love that.
And if it kicks you in the throat, you're getting something that has a few antioxidants in it.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of my test.
This is for Eric and Dr. D. So like if you buy if you want to do like I like bell peppers. Now I can buy bell peppers, you know, in single pieces, but you can also buy it in the little. Does that make a
Okay.
difference when you buy them?
They're more expensive.
Yeah.
But
I
health
think
wise,
From a health standpoint, I'm going to say don't worry about the difference. It really comes down to convenience and flavor and what works for you. And we don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. And so when it comes to vegetables, I'm happy, you know, when my patients are eating vegetables, whether it's fresh or frozen or even
However you
canned. So, you know, fresh is always the best. And there's nothing like taking something right out of a garden. If you've ever had the privilege of tasting something that's just freshly picked, that's when it's at its nutritional peak. But more important is getting into a routine and building a repertoire of healthy meals that involve protein and vegetables. That's the habit that brings you closer to disease reversal rather than the brand or
Yeah.
you know, the whether it's cut in advance or not cut, or even which type of mushroom or pepper, you know, just embrace the rainbow of vegetables. That's the main thing.
Well, you
so
know,
Chef
sorry,
Alan,
I learned one thing from Kym. I used to, when I cooked, I usually had potatoes and sometimes rice. And Kym made a comment, I don't know, over a year ago, and it made me realize I don't need to have potatoes and rice. I just have to, or it's better to have more vegetables.
Yeah.
And I cook that way now with lots of vegetables, and I hardly ever have a potato or rice dish.
And Dr. D, so he taught me the shirataki noodles that you can get. It's a root vegetable. And they now have packages in the produce sections, and
Oh.
you can look up shirataki and you can use those, and it's just root vegetable, which is amazing. And I also once in a while, you know what I use is spaghetti squash. And I'll bake the spaghetti squash and I'll scrape out the insides, and it's almost like little curly noodles. But of course, I think Dr. D, that's a starchy vegetable. So I try to do that once a week.
Yeah, spaghetti squash is delicious. For people who don't know, it's, you know, the inside of the squash is reminiscent of spaghetti strands. You're not going to trick anyone into thinking they're eating pasta, but all the things that you do with spaghetti, you could do it with spaghetti squash. It's not that starchy, and so unless you're on a keto diet, I think most eating. Oh, there it is. Chef Eric's got a picture, you know, is showing us one, right? It's reminiscent of one of those kids' footballs.
Right.
Yeah, you know, we might have to have you, Chef Eric, show us how to do that, because you have to get the seeds out, and then you have to, once you cut it in half, sometimes I have to bake it a little bit, let it cool before I can cut it in half. And then I let it cool and I scrape the seeds out. And then after it's cooked, then you take a fork, right, to get the texture of the spaghetti, to get the little spiralies. You have to use a fork to kind of scrape it out versus
If you have like
just a spoon.
if you have like an ice cream scooper, you know, I scrape my seeds out before I bake it, before I
Yeah.
roast it. Yeah, so
Yeah.
just dig them out and I just face down and roast it. Yeah.
Nutritionally, I think it would have maybe about a third or a fourth as much starch as, you know, the same amount of pasta. It would probably have half the calories and maybe even a third of the calories. And it actually has more flavor than pasta, which is super bland. No, no one eats plain pasta with nothing added to it. But spaghetti squash, you really could just eat it as is. But I like to doctor it up with some sauce.
Sure.
Me too. And you can actually take your stir fry and you can put it over the spaghetti squash. And you can also do it
Yeah.
over zucchini noodles. How bad is zucchini in terms of a starchy vegetable? What are your thoughts, Dr. D, on, because I mean I'm now allergic to zucchini. I know, so weird. But and so one of my favorite things was to make the zucchini noodles. And you can even buy the zucchini noodles in the freezer already done.
Yeah.
Yeah, zucchinis aren't starchy at all. So
Oh,
the more you eat, the better, I would say, you know.
Good.
So that would be called a summer squash in contrast to a winter squash. You know,
okay.
winter squash are usually, you know, yellow and they're denser. So um, zucchini is even less starchy than spaghetti squash.
And I have a question about I'm seeing more and more, and I just saw my freezer section, jackfruit. And I heard you could make kind of, you know, a type of pulled pork and stuff looking and textural thing with jackfruit. But when you look in the produce section, you see a jackfruit, like that thing is daunting. That scares the crap out of me. So I have not even when they've cut it open halfway, I'm like, I'm scared. So I went in the freezer section and I saw some just cut frozen jackfruit. And I would think that could be, I'm told, I don't know if it's a protein. I don't even know what's in it, but that would be a good textural thing for even a vegan, I would imagine, with a stir fry like this.
Eric or
Maybe.
Alan, do you have any experience cooking with jackfruit? I don't.
I've never,
I
I-
don't, I've never cooked it.
never eaten it.
Yeah, so I've seen it mainly as a meat, you know, for people who are focused on a plant-based diet, who want a meat alternative. Jackfruit is used. I've seen it like shredded pork in barbecue sauce, for example.
Mhm.
I would not recommend it to home cooks who are especially novices. So I I don't know, Kym. I'm
It only
uh,
has like maybe 2 to 3 grams of protein. So maybe it's not enough to even get into.
I like the idea of trying new things, and
Yeah.
but that would not be. I um it it's when it comes to meat alternatives, protein alternatives. Um, you know, we talked about edamame, which is a high protein, you know, soybean, green soybeans, and tofu, which is also made out of soybeans. So
Ooh, and
those are some top choices.
I just looked it up. You're not going to like this, Dr. D. 88% carbohydrate. That shocks me.
In the
But
jackfruit?
yeah.
Well, I'm going to push back just a little bit, Kym, because,
Okay.
you know, vegetables and fruits are almost entirely carbohydrate. So these snow
Oh, wow.
peas, for example, are mainly carbohydrate. I mean,
Really?
they're 80% carbohydrate and maybe 20% protein. That's why I like the combination. So not all carbohydrates are
Or
evil,
bad.
right? You
Okay.
want to get your carbohydrates from vegetables
Good
and
to know.
fruits, and also beans have carbohydrate, but also protein. So I'm not going to criticize jackfruit for having mainly carbohydrate. It's just it's not a good it's not a good strong, so it's not a potent source of dietary protein. Few vegetables are aside from legumes, but um you know um so that's my thinking about, you know, vegetables are carbohydrates, but those are among the healthiest carbohydrates.
I think this is literally one of the most important points here that we're making in this session. The carbohydrates is not necessarily a bad word. So counting carbs in the way that we see it out there, we typically think potato, we typically think pasta, we typically think bread and that kind of thing. How would you reframe it?
Yeah, I do worry about too much starch. Most of my patients have diabetes, and so I'm always concerned about too much starch because starch turns to sugar. And so especially refined starches like white flour and things made out of that, or white rice or pasta, all of these refined starchy foods had been promoted for many years as being health foods. And in recent years, we recognize that, you know, they just turn to sugar. And if you have diabetes, it's easy to see the spike in your blood sugar that you get. Even after eating something like brown rice or whole wheat bread, it's just, vegetables are just better. So I'm not
Yeah.
saying you can make a sandwich without vegetables. I'm just saying, I'm not saying you can make a sandwich out of vegetables. What I am saying is we got to get away from all this refined bread. And so get your carbohydrates from vegetables and fruits mainly.
Okay. No,
I
I think that's really important. Go ahead, Douglas.
Alan, so since you've been doing this, how do you think it's made a difference in how you feel, knowing that, or physically, that you're cooking and eating better than you ever have?
You know, it might be helping me physically. I have no way to measure that. I don't really know, but it certainly helps mentally. You you feel more positive because you're eating healthier food, and
Yeah.
you feel more satisfied. So it definitely has a positive impact.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone. I know Dr. D has to jump off the top of the hour. If you're in the live studio audience, you can stay on for a few more minutes here. If you want to join the live studio audience, info@padhelp.org. Just ask to join our Patty's Plate on Fridays or Mondays with office hours with Dr. Michael Dansinger. He has one-on-one personalized dietary support available for those people on Medicare and Medicare Advantage PPO plans in New Hampshire, in Massachusetts, in Florida, in New York, in Virginia, in Minnesota. So go to diabetesreversalpartners.com and check it out and inquire about his services there, because I know he helps so many people. But also on our YouTube channel, Michael Dansinger MD, that's his YouTube channel. Go there, subscribe to his channel, get notified every time he's live. But also on our channel, at The Weight of My Heart, make sure you like and subscribe to this video. Thanks everyone for joining us. Those of you in the studio audience, stick around, but those on YouTube, thanks so much for joining.
Thanks.